Hi, beautiful one, and how are you doing today? Have you ever found yourself in this situation? Do you know what? I ain't never going to speak to you again, and that's it. We're done. We are not family no more, and that's it. Speak to the hand. But I didn't do anything. Like, I only lent your shirt without asking. Now, we know on occasion that families can find themselves in conflict, right? So here's a step-by-step guide on how to restore the harmony in the family when it's broken down. Come on, let's go. Sad thing that, isn't it, that sometimes there is breakdown in the family. So how can we restore that open communication and break down the barrier of family members not speaking to each other? Now, I must say I've been through something very similar over this past year, and it's very hard when everyone's trying to think that they're right, you're wrong, you think that you're right, and you might be wrong. So how can we restore that family communication when there is a breakdown? The first step is to open communication. Now, find a space where everyone feels comfortable, where everyone can sit down and air their views. That's the most important thing first, is to open up that dialogue, open up that communication. And that might be extremely difficult given the fact that you may not have seen each other. It depends on what you've fallen out over, because these things happen. It's a normal thing within society for people to have these breakdowns in communication, to have these breakdowns. But it's all about the restoration of communicating again with family members. So that's the first one, is just to find a safe space where everyone can speak and air their views. And when we do find that safe space, the most important thing thereafter is to actively listen. So listen first, speak later to what everyone has to say, and then you can take it from there. The next point as well is to kind of establish regular family meetings. So if others do have grievances, if we have grievances against each other, then we can air these things out in these family meetings. It's like a safe forum where no one's going to be judged, where no one is going to be held accountable. It's a nice space where we could all meet together, speak together, air our views, air our grievances, and sever the discord and get along together, because family is important. Family is so important, and we do not want to have a breakdown for too long, because they are our first port of call, family, right? It's a funny word, because I know that we can't choose our family, we can choose our friends, but family, we are tied by blood, and that's what's important. There'll be cousins, there'll be nieces, there'll be so we want to have that flow of love consistently going. Okay. The next point is to establish boundaries. So if our family member that we've probably fallen out with has overstepped a boundary, has overstepped a mark, then we have to put boundaries in place. We have to set the boundaries to say, do you know, well, we know sometimes you don't tell certain family members certain things because you'll hear it down the line down there. So that's a boundary. If we're going to speak to a family member, say, I'm speaking to you in confidence and I really don't want to hear this further down the line. The boundary is that we don't allow for the family member to go and speak our personal business outside. That's one thing. But also another boundary is to be able to give each other space as well. If someone has upset us, we're going to go on and see how we can resolve conflict, because that's the third one. So if someone has upset us, we might need that space. So that's another boundary in place. The next step is to learn how to resolve that conflict or have that conflict resolution. So the resolution is that we can have I statements. So in the moment, if someone has upset us, instead of letting it fester, we speak to that person in the moment and say, do you know what? I really don't appreciate that you took my shirt without asking. Or I really don't appreciate that you spoke to someone without my presence, and that is known as gossip, and I'm really not happy about that. But it's a way that we do it as well. It's important to be able to express our emotions to our family members and that they don't take offence. The next thing is to foster that empathy and understanding. So maybe they're going through something that we might be unaware of. Yes, they are a family member, but family members don't always open up in that way. So they might be going through something. So having that understanding, having that empathy and that love that perhaps they're going through it and we leave them to get through that moment, but we can still reconvene, be loving family members together. It's so important to see things from that family member's perspective and understanding why they felt that way. Giving them the time, again, that space, setting that boundary, giving them that space to be who they are. So managing stress and emotions as well. So in that moment, the family member might be going through something. So we allow them to have that moment as well as not reacting. So it's how we react to a situation. Do we blow all things out of proportion and say, right, that's it, it's over, like the one right at the top of this? Or do we give them that time and that space again to have their moment, but not react in a negative way? And like we said, it's easier said than done. When we're all in the moment, sometimes we just want to, guns blazing, okay, corral kind of thing. But then it's the knock-on effect of people falling out, people not speaking to each other. And that's not nice in a family. Like we said, they're building blocks of society. And if we don't have strong families, the children are affected. Everyone's affected down the line at some point. Collaborate on how to find solutions if there is conflict. So focus on the common goal. The common goal is that we are families and the love should cover everything. Love should cover it all. Although, again, that can be quite difficult. And if the worst case scenario, this next point is seek help. If your family is on the verge of breakdown or has broken down, there are always counsellors, or you can get like a third party, someone to mediate in between that in order to, again, bring families together. It does get a bit harder when everyone's older, because then when everyone's grown within a family, the trouble is that they have their own families, so it's coming together for that common purpose of being a whole family together and a whole family that gets on. And we know, even in life, not everyone does get on. Some people don't get on with their siblings. That's the truth. Yeah. However, again, it is the common purpose, the common goal of being a loving family together. Right? But the most important step here, as if you got to the end of this video, is that we lead by example. So we may have had a conflict, we may have had a breakdown within the family, but us leading by example, and we know that that's so hard. Remember, we've spoken many times in these videos about letting the ego go, and the ego is like the lock or the stop, like ego, that's it. And then there's bare breakdown. So it's about rising above that ego, letting it go, being the bigger person. And I know that sometimes it's hard because you might be the one that is the bigger person all the time, but someone has to do it. And that shows your character. If you can let that ego go, you can step into the situation, you can make it better, then that is where the challenge comes about rising above it, being the bigger person and saying, do you know what, I'm going to quash this, because if I don't, one, it's going to make me sick inside. I'm going to be sick because I'm holding all this anxiety and being anxious because I'm feeling bad about what's happening. So that's going to make you ill. And two, it's painful. When you hold on to things, it hurts, like physically, leading to that illness. Overall, if we are having conflict within the family and we do want resolution, because that's the next point, do we want resolution, or do we want to just say, do you know what, stay over there, I'll stay over here, we won't speak? But that's not nice either, is it? Yeah, and we've all felt it. We've all felt at times that you just want to just get on, have no dealings with blood ties, and you get on with your friends. But then it is down to us. It is down to us. And all families I'm sure even the royal family, look at Harry and William, they're having their conflict too. But there comes a point where, you know, we all come together. We don't live with regret that maybe something will happen to a family member and you think, oh my gosh, I really wish that I hadn't acted in that way. We know that it is a natural part, conflict is a natural part of relationships, but it's how we build those relationships back, if we want to, that is, and how we can be bigger, better people by showing, and we say this, patience and empathy, opening up that communication and working out ways to set boundaries. If we're not happy, saying the I statements that I didn't appreciate, whatever, and then moving on, because life is always about being fluid and moving forwards, going ahead, moving forwards, and moving forwards for ourselves in a happy way, and not having to hold anything in us that's going to make us sick. So beautiful one, like I always say, if you like this video, please click that link down there below, ding dong, hit that notification bell, and I'll see y'all next time. All right, you stay blessed. See y'all on the other side. Hi guys, this is my course. Please feel free to click the link. I also have a free consultation that can help you when it comes to things such as resolving conflict, things such as finding your purpose. That's what I do. So please guys, the link is in the bio. Take care.